Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name's Lon Risley, and I'm the host of the Halcyon Show. I recorded a video about half an hour ago that was very vitriolic, very angry, and I went for a walk to get some milk and some shower gel, thinking I'd come back and then I'd upload the video, and something happened. Call it divine intervention, call it just bad fucking luck, call it whatever you want. The video I was talking about the general state of the UK, the temperament, and this fixation that people seem to have with capitalistic tendencies that seem to omit the communal needs that we have as a society, i.e. the NHS and hospitals, the police and our safety and laws, schools, the way we raise our kids and the influence we leave and what we teach them is important in life. I cited a recent example of the fact that I recently spent some time in hospital, not for me, but for someone very close to me, and during my time there I was exposed to a standard of care that I find deeply shameful as a citizen of the UK. And then today, again, 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, I'm walking through my local supermarket, which has its own problems, and we'll talk about that one day, I'm sure. Slumped on the outside is a woman. Now, I'm given to understand from the people that were standing outside over her debating vociferously what to do, that she was homeless, and she just wasn't doing too well. She was breathing, but wasn't doing too well. I go in the supermarket because I generally think that most people are smart enough to call the goddamn ambulance in that situation. And I come back outside, and they're discussing what to do with the security guard of the Morrisons, who is proceeding to tell them there's no point in calling the police or the ambulance because the police will palm it off to the ambulance, and the ambulance will pawn it off to the police. I then check on the woman because I'm a doer, not a fucking follower, not necessarily. And 3 people then come up to me and explain the situation. And I proceed to point out the fact that there's an ambulance filling up at the petrol station across the way, and is it not worth just going over and speaking to the guys in the ambulance and saying, hey, there's a woman who needs help, would you mind going over and checking on her, please? Oh, well, I would, but, wandering over isn't easy. So I go over and I speak to the ambulance, and the ambulance is, again, not too thrilled about the prospect of having to go to something that wasn't called in, because apparently there's got to be a fucking process for everything these days. And they proceed to check on the woman, and I leave. Now, the reason I'm citing that, and the reason I'll cite my recent experience with a hospital, in which 10 people were in a room I would deign fit for no more than 4, and 3 nurses were constantly having to look after the whims and needs of up to 15, 20 people at a time. And each time someone came in, they had little to no idea who we were and what we were there for, and gave us different stories each time because they're working off of equipment, software, and provisions that are easily 20, 25 years past their due date. And this is after, again, the fact that there's no police around to report this to, and going into a Morrison superstore that, needs help. So, look, here's my rant. We need to do better for everybody, man. I don't care what you think about our general situation, but we need to do better for everybody. We need to stop thinking so selfishly about things like money, taxation, like who should pay more. Well, no, everybody. Everyone needs to contribute. Who should assist in a given situation? Everybody should assist. Everyone should be looking out for everybody else. And I tweeted, I really do hate the UK and what it's become, because this is not the country I grew up in. And this isn't a nationalistic thing. This has got nothing to do with any particular citizen. It's everyone. The country and the people we've become is genuinely disgusting to me. That we think that hospitals like the one I was in is a standard of care that we think is suitable. And yet I guarantee you, if any one of you fucks has to go into a hospital anytime soon, you're going to be fucking appalled by the standards. The fact that there's a woman on the side of a street that can't get help because she's homeless. oh, because she's not a human being anymore. And the fact that we constantly have to listen to people telling it's other people's problem to deal with certain things. It's up to someone else to pay for it. The time in my mind has come to everyone has to start picking up their slack. Everybody. You all hold a responsibility to make our society as great as it can be. You shouldn't be complaining about what you should have to pay. You shouldn't have to complain about conforming to rules. I don't want to pay attention to that rule because it doesn't suit me. Cool, if we apply that, then everyone follows their own rules and nothing ever gets done. And I'm sorry, I'm truly disgusted at this point in time. I'm heartbroken, as a matter of fact. When I was talking earlier, I was mad, I was angry, I was vitriolic. Now, I'm fucking heartbroken, man. Because I don't think things are going to change. And I think the capitalistic tendencies that run this country in our lives, and what we've been conditioned to believe is what is reasonable, which is that we've traded the guarantee of a certain standard of living for the promise of a shot at something even greater, when it's a lottery ticket. That's all it is. You don't actually have the opportunity to earn £150,000 and go on 5 holidays and live in a 7-bedroom house and drive a Bugatti. It's not real. But what is real is a certain level of standards that everyone can attain and everyone would have the opportunity to have. And we forfeit that. And I come to you with no solution. I come to you with no tiding of goodwill or anything. I'm just bitterly disappointed. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. I've done a couple of rants that center around the same thing, which is we are lastingly fucked. I'm not going to say that anything is, if we don't change, things are going to get worse. No, this is fucked. Women and children that can't heat their houses during winter because they can't afford to turn the electricity on. People can't afford to pay their fucking food bills. Families can't afford to buy houses. The police don't protect anybody. The NHS is so severely underfunded and understaffed that it can't even deal with pregnancies. And if someone collapses in the street, people will stand around and debate whose fucking problem and fault it is before they think, what can we do to fucking help? And most of it is predicated on whether or not you can fucking share it on the internet. So this is how I'm going to wrap up this. I'm not going to post the original video because it was vitriolic and it was angry and it didn't really serve a purpose. I'm going to leave it like this. You watching this, assume your responsibility in this. I don't care how small it is or how large it is. And do something. If that's just contributing in some small way to your wider community or society or your school or your hospital or your police station, if it's just taking care of vulnerable people by not walking by when you see something that could be kicking off, just stand there and just keep a watchful eye like the police should be doing in preventative measures of just being around. If you see someone hurt, you help them initially at least. If people are struggling financially, you don't then start thinking about, well, how does this impact me and how to blah, 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 because guess what? Everyone's for the chop at the moment. There's not a person in this fucking country whose position is secure in their job, because there are companies and corporations that keep deciding that all the money in the world is not enough. And they've conditioned you and a lot of other people to think along that line. More is better. Rather than meeting a certain standard and maintaining that, which is infinitely harder, by the way, granted, but so much more rewarding when everyone has the opportunity to attain a certain standard of life, as opposed to what we all do, which is we gamble that standard on us individually having a shot at something greater and then being staggered and surprised when all of us get fucked. Every single person seeing this now, do better. Assume the responsibility that you're due. Don't run from it. Don't deny it. Don't pass the buck. Because yeah, then everyone else will. And it has to start with someone, so it has to start with you. I've assumed all the responsibility that I can possibly can in this time. I'm not perfect, and I'm certainly not someone to model after. But god damn it! I hold myself to a standard, and you should all too. Make yourselves proud. And do the right thing, man. My name's Lorne Risley. I'm the host of the Halcyon Show. Thank you very much for watching. I don't care if you like, share, and subscribe as a result of this video. I only care about that you hear the message that I'm trying to say to you, which is that this place fucking sucks. And it's up to us, not the government, not anyone in charge of a company, no one along those lines. The power has always been with the people, with you. Wield it, and wield it justly, and wield it now. Right now. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next episode.